Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, let's talk about something truly captivating, the unfolding story of two American astronauts aboard the International Space Station, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. It's a tale that's grabbed headlines and sparked some serious debate, not just in the space world, but everywhere. Their return home has hit a bit of a snag, and that's where things start to get interesting. As you can probably guess, the situation has become a bit of a political football. We're seeing strong opinions from all corners, with folks like Elon Musk and even President Trump suggesting the astronauts have been left in a difficult position by the current administration, using the word stranded. It's a lot to take in, and I think we need to step back and see what's really going on. This whole thing kicked off in June 2024, when Wilmore and Williams launched on Boeing Starliner. It was meant to be a quick test flight, 8 days to show the Starliner was ready for the big leagues. It was meant to be a big win for Boeing and for the future of spaceflight. But as we've all seen, things don't always go as planned. The Starliner ran into technical issues on its way to the International Space Station, with helium leaks and propulsion problems raising eyebrows and some serious questions. Then the political side came out, with social media posts claiming abandonment and the need for intervention, which all feels very dramatic. However, NASA has always had backup plans. It's something we can all rely on. As I'm digging into this story, I'm really struck by how much complexity there is. It's more than just rockets going up and down. It's about human ambition, political agendas, and also the incredible resilience of the people who do this amazing work. It's fascinating stuff. And if you're finding this as intriguing as I am, please do take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out and means we can continue to explore these sorts of stories together. Also, I'd love to know what you think of all of this. Let me know in the comments below, and now, back to our story. NASA's Plan B was to bring the astronauts back on a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, part of a regular rotation and something that was planned in case things didn't work as planned. It's a great example of thinking ahead and putting safety first. But it looks like we need a bit more patience. Their return, initially scheduled for February 2025, has now been pushed to late March. It seems SpaceX needs to make sure the capsule is ready for the next mission. And NASA has made it very clear that they're in no danger. So our astronauts are doing okay. They're healthy, and they're still up there on the International Space Station, carrying out experiments, doing spacewalks, and even managing to celebrate Thanksgiving. That's pretty remarkable if you ask me. All of which leads us to question, is this stranded and abandoned narrative really correct? The truth is, like many complex situations, there's more to it than what you see in a headline. Let's dive into the technical issues with the Starliner. Helium leaks and propulsion issues aren't something you ignore in space. Helium is a critical part of pressurizing the fuel tanks so that the engines work properly. It's easy to see that a leak could throw the entire mission into danger. NASA decided it was just too risky to bring the astronauts back on Starliner. And so we went with SpaceX. Bill Nelson, the former NASA administrator, stressed it was a unanimous decision and safety is always the most important consideration, even if that means going against some other opinions. This just highlights that space travel is never simple. It's a careful balance of science, politics, and of course a huge amount of money. While this is all happening, we can't forget the astronauts themselves. How are Wilmore and Williams holding up through this whole thing? I have to say, they seem incredibly professional. They're trained for these situations, they know how to work as a team, they're continuing their experiments, working hard, and staying focused. And it's worth mentioning that extended stays on the International Space Station are not that unusual. Astronaut Frank Rubio, for instance, recently spent 371 days there. So, while this is not ideal, it is certainly not unprecedented. And while there are political debates back on Earth, the astronauts are working hard, showing their dedication and strength. Now, to Boeing. This situation is a setback for them. They have put a lot of money and time into the Starliner. Their goal is to have a reliable American spacecraft so that we can all depend on our own technology and not the Russian Soyuz capsules. But these technical issues have definitely hampered their efforts. And this brings to light the financial implications of commercial space ventures. Space travel is complex and costly, and these kinds of delays make it very difficult to meet goals and budgets. It also makes us think about the partnership between NASA and private companies like Boeing and SpaceX, and how it's fundamentally changing the way we approach space exploration. We're seeing a transition from government missions to a more collaborative approach, which does bring a lot of innovation and forward thinking to the table. And we are seeing reusable rockets and a lower cost to access space, which is just amazing. But as these changes take place, and we enter into a new space race, not just between countries, but between corporations, I think we have to pause and consider where things are heading. There are very real safety considerations, and we have to make sure that we never sacrifice safety for the sake of speed. And then we have the important ethical considerations, such as who benefits from the commercialization of space. Is it just going to be a select few wealthy individuals? And speaking of challenges, the astronauts in space deal with a lot of difficulties. The isolation, the high-stress environment, and then the uncertainty of exactly when they can go home. It's an incredible challenge. And of course, we must not ignore long-term health issues, such as exposure to dangerous radiation. These are serious risks. And this is all leading us to the very real possibility of more incidents occurring as commercial spaceflight becomes more commonplace. So, we need to take this seriously and not let the excitement get in the way of being sensible and safe. It reminds us that space is still very risky and unpredictable. We have to remember that space travel is not just about rockets and technology. It's about human beings pushing their limits and showing what they are capable of. And this story is still unfolding. We need to examine what is the long-term effect for Boeing and how the future of commercial space will look. It has highlighted that private companies are offering innovation and a lower cost base, but also we need to ensure that the quest for profit does not compromise safety and long-term exploratory goals. So as we reach the end, it's crucial to reflect on what we've seen today. It's about more than just the science of space travel. It's about political tensions, ethical questions, and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. What does the future hold for commercial space travel? Will we see more of this kind of thing as more people venture into space? And how do we ensure the safety of all our astronauts as we continue this journey into the unknown? These are all questions I think we should be asking, and I'd really like to know what you think. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep dreaming big. And one last thing, don't forget to subscribe for more insights into space, technology, and all things in between. It's a fascinating world out there, so let's explore it together. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.